welcome to the Daily English News program on Azərbaycan Televiziya. I'm qocaman. President İlham Əliyev signed an executive order on the additional measures in respect to the supply of cultivation areas with irrigation water and meeting the demand of the population for potable water in Xaçmaz, Quba, Qusar and Şabran regions. According to the executive order, 910,000 manats from the 2021 state budget is allocated to Azərbaycan Amelioration and Water Management Open Joint Stock Company to improve the supply of cultivation areas and courts used for cultivation, as well as to design and dig 13 sub-artesian wells to meet the demand of the population for potable water in 13 residential settlements with 17,346 inhabitants in Xaçmaz, Quba, Qusar and Şabran regions. President İlham Əliyev continues to receive letters of congratulations on the occasion of the 28th of May, the Republic Day. President of North Macedonia, Stevo Pendravovski, President of Djibouti, Ismail Omar Gelle, President of Mauritania, Mohamed Veled Sheikh Al-Ghazvani sent a congratulatory letter to Azerbaijani President İlham Əliyev. The Nagorno-Karabakh conflict has already remained in history, and the Azerbaijani state will never allow this page to open again. However, recently Armenia, which has held our lands under occupation for 30 years, has been striving for a military escalation in the region with successive provocations of the state border. In the country, which is preparing for early parliamentary elections, the number of anti-Azerbaijani statements is growing rapidly.
The Azerbaijani state insists on the implementation of the principles of the trilateral statement signed on November 10th last year and the implementation of the transition to the post-war period. All steps taken by official Baku are designed specifically to ensure long-term peace and security in the region. However, in Armenia, which is preparing for early parliamentary elections, both the representatives of the authorities and the forces alternative to Nikol Pashinyan, especially the revanchists, as a result of the provocations and terror committed on the border, have created the risk of new war. And the excitement around the Armenian saboteurs who have penetrated into the territory of Azerbaijan is openly pursuing a specific goal: to obstruct the peace agreement and direct international attention to the region. And after that, we will strengthen our borders, strengthen control on the state border. Nobody can put pressure on us, nobody can influence us. Today, some pro-Armenian countries in circles are making some statements. Let them come out. That's their business. The European Parliament once again adopted a resolution on the basis of false facts. I don't even pay attention to it, and I do not advise you. I do not advise the Azerbaijani people either. None of this makes any difference. What matters is that today we're here, we sit here, we stand here, and we will live here forever. Thus, Yerevan, violating all agreements, openly demonstrates its intention to abandon the document on November 10th. Open sabotage is indicated by the statement of Armenian President Armen Sarkisyan at a meeting with members of the Armenian community in Kazakhstan that the war is not over, there is no peace agreement. Refusal to provide Azerbaijan with maps of minefields. Moreover, the demagoguery that the maps will be provided after the release of the so-called prisoners of war, without acknowledging the fact that these maps are not even present, clearly indicate the main intentions of the Armenian side in the post-conflict and post-election periods. So, Azerbaijani side is not provided with maps of minefields. Armenia refuses to fulfill the agreement on the construction of the Zangezur corridor. It sends sabotage groups to the border zone. It continues manipulations around the so-called prisoners of war. It does not back down from its claims about the independence of Karabakh and calls on the Minsk group to work in the same format. Political analysis show that consistent provocation in the border zone indirectly serve as an obstacle to the implementation of the agreement on the Zangezur corridor. Members of Nikol Pashinyan's team openly declare that they are not talking about any corridor and they will not fulfill the requirements related to the Zangezur corridor. Robert Kacharyan, competing for power, also states that if he becomes prime minister, he will not allow the implementation of this issue. All this testifies to the unwillingness of Yerevan, thanks to the support of foreign patrons, to prevent the implementation of projects that will seriously change the geo-economic configuration of the region. We must take necessary steps to safeguard our interests. The creation of the Zangezur corridor fully meets our national, historical and future interests. We are implementing the Zangezur corridor whether Armenia wants it or not. If it wants, then we will decide easier. If it doesn't want, we will decide by force. Just as before and during the war I said that they must withdraw from our lands or we will expel them by force. The real activity of the enemy contributing to constructivism is not yet noticeable. On the contrary, the number of trips of separatist, radical, provocative and revanchist elements from Armenia to Khankendi is increasing. A trip a few days earlier by the Armenian Catholicos Geragin II to the territories inhabited by separatists, his blessing to the members of the bandit formations and his speech with anti-Azerbaijani statements testifies that the Armenians are stimulating the war. According to the results of polls conducted in the Armenian society against the background of Pashinyan's falling rating and a tangible increase in the popularity of representatives of the junta regime, it is clear that a new trend towards war is rapidly emerging.
I'll watch Euro 2020 Turkey-Wales match in Azerbaijan, said President of Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, at the group meeting Justice and Development Party. Erdogan added that he will pay a visit to Shusha city as part of his visit. Chair of Parliamentary House of People of Bosnia and Herzegovina, Bakir Izetbegovic, visited the Foreign Ministry. Minister Ceyhun Bayramov said that the continued support of our countries for each other's sovereignty and territorial integrity is the basis of bilateral relations. The guest noted that Bosnia and Herzegovina supports Azerbaijan's position based on international law. The speaker said that visited Agdam region and expressed regret over the scale of the destruction in these areas. The sides also discussed prospects for the development of bilateral relations as well as cooperation within international organizations. It was emphasized that both countries would open embassies that will positively impact on the development of bilateral relations. U.S. Acting Assistant Secretary of State for European and Eurasian Affairs, Philip Ricker, visited the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Minister Ceyhun Bayramov stressed the strategic nature of partnership relations. U.S. official Philip Ricker noted that Azerbaijan is a strong partner country and stressed that the United States attaches great importance to the bilateral relations. He recalled with satisfaction a phone conversation with President of the Republic of Azerbaijan. U.S. official praised the agreement reached between Azerbaijan and Armenia on the cessation of hostilities and expressed concern over the recent developments in the region, including the tensions at the border. He also deplored the recent deaths of the two journalists and an official as a result of a landmine explosion. Minister Ceyhun Bayramov informed about post-conflict situation in the region and an interest of Azerbaijan in aggravating the situation and steps taken by Azerbaijan related to the implementation of the trilateral statement, as well as Armenia's irresponsible behavior, refusal to share information on mine maps and sending saboteurs to plant mines in the territory of Azerbaijan. Delegation led by Chair of Parliamentary House of People of Bosnia and Herzegovina, Bakir Izetbegovic, visited the tomb of national leader Heydar Aliyev at the Hall of Honor. Then the delegation honored the memory of the heroic sons of Azerbaijan who sacrificed their lives for the territorial integrity and sovereignty of the motherland. The memory of Azerbaycan Television cameraman Siraj Abushev and Azertaj employee Mehrem Ibrahimov, who martyred as a result of the mine explosion in Kelbejar, was immortalized. Their names was engraved in the memorial monument complex created in the memory of Azerbaycan media martyrs in the territory of the Azerbaycan Television and Radio Broadcasting Close Stock Company. The ground was recited for the souls of the martyrs. It's noteworthy that on June 4th, the bus carrying employees of TV channels and news agencies got blown up by a landmine on the way to Kelbejar region's Susuzluq village. As a result, 3 people, Siraj Abushev, Mehrem Ibrahimov, an official of Kelbejar region executive power, Arif Aliyev, were killed, and the other 4 people were taken to hospital with various injuries. The Heydər Əliyev Foundation is working on restoration and repair of religious monuments in Şuşa. The historic mosques, namely Aşağı Gövhərağa Mosque, Yuxarı Gövhərağa Mosque and Saatlı Mosque, were designed by architect Kərbəlayı Səfixan Qarabaği, one of the representatives of Qarabağ architecture schools. These mosques have been included in the list of historical and cultural monuments of national importance. During the Armenian occupation of Şuşa, along with many historical and cultural monuments, these mosques were vandalized too. The interior of Yuxarı Gövhərağa Mosque was destroyed. The decor of the minarets was damaged. The coloring and other architectural elements were destroyed as well. The first stage of the reconstruction has been completed. The work is underway in the second stage. Stones in the walls of the mosque are put in accordance with the original project. Assessment work is being carried out with the participation of foreign experts in Aşağı Gövhərağa Mosque, which was destroyed as a result of the Armenian occupation. After the occupation of Şuşa city by Armenians, the historic mosque was destroyed and turned into ruins as well. Local and foreign experts are working on the restoration of Azerbaijan's liberated territories. 68 more cases of coronavirus infections have been recorded in Azerbaijan, while 239 people have been recovered and discharged from the hospital. One patient has died. The overall confirmed cases in Azerbaijan have reached 334,917, with 327,626 recoveries and 2,343 deaths. The number of active infections is 2,343. The detected infection cases overall is 1,589,231 tests have been conducted in Azerbaijan. The task force under the Cabinet of Ministers reported. That was all for the day. Thank you for being with us. Goodbye.